Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom, Brother Naquam.
Brother Yardan, Shalom, Shalom.
Coming back at you with these precepts and another Monday Night Fire, giving, of course, our honor and all glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Malak Yabushai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Mashiach Malak Yabushai. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, holding it down to the households, reverencing their husbands, being submissive and diligent, and all of the sisters that may not be married who tend upon the Lord without distraction. Shalom to those sisters, and all of the ancient men and children, and everybody tuning in live. HBKN, Yahweh Shai, Princess Nikia, Silaki, Anthony Knox, T. Sellers, Jadis Delphius, Dennis Rodman, Brother Azariah, Shalom King, Ephraimite Ak, Richard Perez, Yasha Allah 12, Yakad, Quadan, Abaya, Judah Israel, Got Soft, Shalom King, SOY Resurrected, Shalom to those brothers. That was a mighty unity camp out there, mighty groundbreaking. We just got back from Seattle last night, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. It was a mighty groundbreaking for everybody that was out there, that did the work, that showed love. The mighty brothers from SOY was out there. Beautiful brothers out there in Seattle that the Most High put in their spirit to labor with us out there and show us hospitality and love. So we had a mighty Seattle groundbreaking to keep everybody updated. We did the work out there through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua with those mighty brothers. If you're out there in Seattle, Tacoma, Portland, wherever you at out there, man, in Seattle, Oregon area, go up there and labor with those brothers and congregate and gather yourself together as a nation not desired. We got Passover coming up, April 21st at sundown, right? You got the next new moon coming up, April 7th at sundown, right? Which is your eclipse, your solar eclipse that the world isn't all about, right? We're hoping that the Most High provides massive judgment on these heathen and these strange nations. And you have the next potential groundbreaking May 10th, LA, WFI LA, right? We're going to break ground in LA and go out there as well and do the work through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So keeping brothers updated about what's going on in the body, what's going on in Israel. And one of the number one things that's going on in Israel is false doctrine. Let's go to the book of Titus, right? One of the number one things going on in Israel is false doctrine. And the spirit been on us heavy to go into false doctrine because you have so much damn false doctrine, right? And it's not us, all right? Why do brothers keep going into depth of false doctrine? When are they going to go back into the current events? When are they going to go back into the who the Gentiles are? Well, we can't fight against the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, right? Whatever the Most High put in our mouth, that's what we're going to do. Didn't Balaam say that? Let's pull up. Let's go to Numbers, the 23rd chapter. Right? The Most High, he wanted to do things, man. He wanted to curse Israel. But the Most High suffered him not to do that, man. Right? What man says out of his mouth is not up to man. Whatever you said today, it was ordained by God. Whether you told a joke, whether you rebuked somebody, whether you said shalom, whatever you said out of your mouth, it was of the Most High. Right? Whether it's for your detriment or your benefit. There's Numbers. Chapter 23 and verse 25. And Balak said unto Balaam, neither curse them at all, nor bless them at all. But Balaam answered and said unto Barak, told not I thee, saying, all that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua speaketh, that I must do. So he didn't have to say so, huh? The Most High would put Balaam in a trance and put a spirit on him. And even though Balak, which was the king of the Moabites, hired Balaam, which was a soothsayer, a wizard, a warlock, if you can understand. Even though he hired this man to curse Israel, it never panned out the way Balak wanted it to be. And it's a beautiful account that you read in Numbers chapter 22, 23, and even 24, right? But he said, all that Yahweh speaketh, that I must do. And that's the same spirit that we're in, huh? Right? Whatever the Most High tells us to say and do, that's what we're going to do. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 8, right, in verse 8. Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 8. There is no man that hath power over the spirit to retain the spirit, neither hath he power in the day of death, and there is no discharge in that war, neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it. So there's no man that has power over the spirit to retain the spirit. I mean, if the Most High want to take your spirit from you, you can't play tug of war with the Most High. He can't bring death upon you and try to pull your spirit, and you sit up there and you damn tying a rope across the tree, you trying to hold on to the spirit. If the Most High want to take the truth from you, you can't retain it. If you want to be slothful, be out the spirit, and the Most High want to put the zeal on you to do the work, you can't retain that slothful spirit, because the Most High is going to inflame you with zeal. Right? So you can't control what spirit the Most High ultimately on a deeper level put on you. Right? Everything's of the Most High. Neither hath he power in the day of death, and there is no discharge in that war. Right? Meaning you can't strive mightier than the will of God. Neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it. So if the Most High gives you over to wickedness, it won't deliver you. You will be cut down. Right? So the Most High is letting you know that whatever spirit he puts on men, it's all ordained by him. Right? You have some real quick, Whoreddom, before we get into it?
Allah, you got it.
Yeah, we're going to dive right into it, right? Another false this is Death to False Doctrines, plural, within one volume. I believe this is volume 6, right? This is volume 6, and we want to touch on marriage, right? We want to touch on marriage because you got brothers saying that, there's a lot of madness going on. We're going to try to tackle all of it. And this is in the world of Israel, right? Salakia. This is in a world of Israel. You got brothers saying that once you join, you have certain places teaching in Israel that if you're married to a woman and she's in the world and you join that congregation, you have to divorce your woman. Even though y'all are married, if she doesn't believe, you have to divorce her. Then you got this other congregations or same congregations saying, well, okay, if you're a man and you want to join the congregation and your woman doesn't believe, then you have to get rid of that woman. Then you got brothers saying that if you divorce a woman, another man can marry her. If she committed fornication or adultery, another man can marry her if her divorce was done in the spirit of the Most High. Then you got, there's a lot. There you got brothers saying that, okay, a woman, she was married, she committed adultery, then she could be with another man if she repent. And then you got all these spirits going on, huh? Right, Whoreddom, you think anything else? Am I missing anything?
In regards to marriage, that's pretty much what I've heard as well. I'm not sure did you mention that if a brother wants to join a camp and he commits adultery, or what I've heard, there's a brother, if he commits adultery, he kind of gets put apart and is allowed to come back in with the entire body.
Yo, that's madness too. What? And and you got if you a woman could put away her husband now. That's a new thing. Right? If a husband go off, a woman could put away her husband. So we got to clear all of this stuff up, man. Right? We got to clear all of this up, because what did the Most High say ultimately about marriage? Right? It's like I want Hebrews chapter 13 and 4. What did the Most High say? You got a lot of brothers coming into this thing getting wives. You got women obtaining husbands, right? You have children being begotten of them. You have a lot of congregations, which is beautiful. You have a lot of spirits on the earth that the Most High is waking up. So it's important as we build a nation that we understand the limitations that we have when it comes to marriage and divorce. What's permissible, what's not permissible, what things are lawful, what things are unlawful. And ultimately, the scriptures are going to speak. Right? Hebrews chapter 13 and 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers, the Most High will judge, man. So marriage is honorable. There's nothing greater for an Israelite man and an Israelite woman to come together and agree together and be in unity. And it's done in order. And the bed undefiled. The bed undefiled meaning you got brothers saying that means you could do whatever you want in the bed, right? You could, do God knows what. You can open up so-called Pandora's box. That's not what that means. The bed undefiled means that it's a bed where a woman and a man lay down together because they're married lawfully. A defiled bed, which is the opposite of undefiled, a defiled bed would be a bed full of adultery. A bed with one man and another man's wife, or a man with a beast, or a man with a man, or a man with a child, or a man with himself freaking off. That's a defiled bed, right? So an undefiled bed trumps a defiled bed, and it's honorable. But whoremongers, men that make profit, sexual profit, merchandise from woman to woman, and adulterers, the Most High will judge. All right, you got it, King.
Might get in Proverbs chapter 6, verse 32.
God. Proverbs.
It says, "But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul." Right? And that's facts. Right? If you commit adultery, you lack an understanding, because the spirit of wisdom is only going to be in those. Let me get Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and 3 real quick. Let me pull it up. This Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 1, verse 3. And it reads, "For froward thoughts separate from God, and his power, when it is tried, reproveth the wise." Right? Adultery is a forward thought. It's a wicked, nasty, defiled thought. And it always start with your eyes. That's why it says the eyes is the most wickedest part. It's going to start with your eyes. You see something you like, you covet, and then you thinking about it, and then you execute it with your right hand. So the moment you start to think of that, you lost and lack understanding. And how much more once you perform your thoughts. That's why it says in verse 32, Proverbs chapter 6, verse 32, "But whoso committeth adultery with the woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul." He's destroying his own soul because, what's the wages of sin? It's death. And the Lord, he takes adultery and marriage very seriously. It's not a light thing. That's not to say the other commandments are light, but this is spoken of a lot in the scriptures, right? For a reason. The Lord is big on marriages, and he's big on a beautiful marriage. That's why it says in I'm gonna get one more. It's Sirach chapter 25, verse 1. It's Sirach chapter 25, verse 1. "In 3 things I was beautified and stood up beautiful, both before God and men: the unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, and a man and a wife that agreed together." So that's beautiful in the eyes of the Lord, for a man and his wife to agree together, right? No righteous man is going to agree to his wife being able to sleep with other men. No righteous man is going to, be on the same accord with his woman for him to sleep with a married woman, right? That's wicked. That's a froward thought. That's nasty. That's not something that should be agreed upon, right? That's agreed upon on the left-hand side. Y'all got to agree upon things on the right-hand side and what the Lord ordained chiefly. That I yield.
Yeah, and what is adultery? First of all, there's so much to talk about, man. To go into. Let's actually definition. Start. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got the definition too in Zondervan.
All right, yeah, let's get the definition in the Zondervan, and we're going to touch on Matthew, the 19th chapter. Right, then we're going to jump to Deuteronomy 24. Then we're going to go to Matthew 5. Right, we're going to touch on this thing, man, because you got adultery going on in Israel. You would think that stuff ceased in the world, man. But then you got women that come into Israel, whores, straight up, man, hoes, right, just being plain, going from man to man to man, camp to camp to camp. And you got Negroes Now I'm getting upset. You got Negroes who come in, feign themselves Israel, looking to talk to another man's wife in her inbox, messaging her. Might be from another camp. You don't break it down. You don't break the scriptures down like me, right? You still in that camp. They're not teaching the truth. We just going to study the scriptures together. Right? Let me get it right back here so I can bust it back page.
Shalom, King.
Shalom, King. Shalom. Yeah, you got brothers saying, hey, y'all, he don't break the scriptures down like me. You still with him? Don't you know they going off? You got to get with you with a man of the Lord. Scriptures say that y'all not really married. Pulling all types of precepts, man. Don't y'all know y'all not really married? Y'all don't have the instruments of covenants. You got brothers saying, okay, well, you don't have your actual, let me see your documentation from the so-called white man. Let me see if you're married. Well, I don't have that. I didn't. We see that, sis. That's where you went wrong. What do you mean? Well, you got to go. You got to do this. But I thought I was married. Here, let me show you something. Come over my house. I'll break these scriptures down to you real good. Okay. Right? And then you got all types of hell breaking loose, man. Right? Yardan, you got that definition. I'm going to jump down to Matthew 19.
This is Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. And it reads, for adultery in the OT, sexual intercourse, usually of a man, married or unmarried, always with the wife of another. Right? So there, you know, nobody can say, well, nobody brought out the definition. There it is, it's right there. That's plain upon tables. If a man sleeps with another woman that is married, right? And it says always with the wife of another. That's what it is, right? Adultery is when a man sleeps with the woman that is married, or a woman sleeps with a man while she's already married. That's what adultery is.
Right. And to add to that, also when a woman is betrothed to a husband, right? What they call promise. Today they call it your fiance, engaged, if you can understand. If you're a woman that's betrothed to another man and another man lays down with you, you have committed adultery. You can't be betrothed to a man, or we didn't lay down together, so we're not married. No, you are married. And we're going to show you that in the law too. I'll tell you what an adultery, what adultery isn't, is if a man has a wife and he lays down with another woman that is not promised to or married to another man. That is not adultery. You got people, he's cheating. My husband's cheating on me. He's a cheater. He's cheating on me, right? He walk in the house, you throwing dishes at him, you throwing shoes at him. Who is you with? Who is you with? I saw you with her. You're cheating. Well, first of all, that's not adultery, right? If this woman don't have a man, if she's not promised to a man, or she's not married to a man, that is not adultery, man. Right? So we're gonna clear up all of the confusion, because people gonna get emotional. A lot of people gonna get emotional about this, right? I can see it already, right? You got to take that old Western Negro mind out and put on your ancient mind. Put on your ancient mind. Take a trip back to 2000 BC, 1500 BC, 1000 BC. Damn, the first century. Stop following Montel, man. Montel. Who's these other people? Oprah, Dr. Phil. You know, then these Instagram people, man. Nevertheless, let me read this. This is Matthew chapter 19, right? And verse 3. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? And we'll touch on Deuteronomy 24, right? Can a man put away his wife if she burned the unleavened bread? Can a man put away his wife if her dress, doesn't fit? Can a man put away his wife if she does not have the food ready when he gets off of work, right? Can he put away his wife for every cause? And he answered and said unto them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. right? And this is a deep verse because Yahweh Shah is saying, have ye not read, meaning in Genesis, that he which made them at the beginning. Who made them at the beginning? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. He made them in the beginning. The same entity that made them says, and said. So the same one that made them and said. So spoke these words, which is Adam. If you got ears to hear. For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, because Adam said that. But he which made them said that. Right? For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Right? Wherefore there are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore the Most High joined together, let not man put asunder. So whether that's you or whether that's somebody on the outside of your marriage, they cannot come in and separate the man and the wife, right? For whatever the reason may be, right? They say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away, right? So they're referencing what's written in Deuteronomy chapter 24. He saith unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginning it was not so. Meaning from the time of Noah, Lamech, Methuselah, Enoch, Jared, all the way down, all the way up rather. Seth, right? Kahanim, Mahalil, all of these men, they didn't put away their wives for every cause. That's not the true essence of the law, right? The true spirit of the law is you put away your wife for fornication, right? And fornication can be adultery. Once she has sex with another man, fornication can be bestiality. When she lays down with a beast, fornication can be a homosexual act. She's laying down with another woman. An ancestral act, a near relative, her father, right? Her mother, her brother. For these things, these are the things that warrant a man put away his wife. And that was the spirit that our forefathers was in. But when Moses was given a law, the Lord gave Israel over to their own lust and devices. Right? That's why it says for the hardness of your hearts, meaning they were unforgiving. The Most High gave them over to that own lust of unforgiveness and grudges, right? To put away your wives. So one more quick point. When we go back to Deuteronomy 24, you'll read the law. It says, if there's an uncleanness in your wife, you could put her away. So our forefathers, they got it as, okay, well, anything's the uncleanness. So we could put away for anything, right? But if you're a man of the Lord, like Abraham, like Noah, Enoch, then you would have understood that in the spirit as, okay, that's talking about adultery, right? I have to be merciful. She may burn the unleavened bread. She may not, make my garment the right size, but that's not going to warrant me putting it away. That's how Noah interpreted the law and kept it. That's how Enoch kept that law. That's how Methuselah kept that law. That's how Abraham kept that law. That's how Isaac and Jacob kept that law. But when the wicked Israel came on the scene, who wasn't circumcising their children, who wanted golden calves and other lusts, they got the same law because it's not new and said, okay, well, we're going to put away our wives for every cause, right? And the Most High put it on Moses' spirit, say, all right, let them do that. Give them over to their own devices. So Yahweh Shah is coming on the scene and clearing up the true spirit of how to keep that law, right? That's why it says, but from the beginning, it was not so. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her, which is put away, doth commit adultery. So you can only put away your wife if she commits fornication. If you put away your wife and your wife didn't commit fornication, and you go marry another woman, which is going on in Israel, right? You got a one-night stands, meeting up at the Airbnb. Oh, it didn't work out. Get in a hotel. Hell, you got brothers getting a motel. Get in the motel with a woman for one night. You met her at the Hebrew Summit. You met her on Instagram. She was on Clubhouse. They on something else now. They on something else like Clubhouse now. She was in your inboxes. You flew her out or you drove out there. You popped her. She laid down. Right now, y'all hate each other. And now you put her away. You on to the next one. And she's on to the next camp. She was in that camp. Now she's in this camp. That's adultery. His disciples said to him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry. So they're understanding like that's okay. Well, that's what the law is really saying. Now let me rethink getting married, right? Because if I can only put away my wife for fornication, I might not want to be married because she might do something that might want to make me put her away. So let me count the cost in this matter. That's what Yahweh Shai said, right? Brothers got it.
Khan, I'm going to bring out this quick precept. Right in 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse number 3. It's like the brother was going into, it's a lot of sorcery in Israel, man. A lot of people being bewitched, beguiled, overthrown, right? Don't let your flesh cause you to sin, right, and have you to go off, right, from the Most High. In 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3, but if it says, but I fear, lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve. And the serpent is going to beguile that simple-minded woman. Because she secretly wants to get out of her marriage. She secretly is upset. She's secretly thinking about other men. Right? She's secretly not happy. And all of those things are going to play a part with Satan corrupting your mind. That woman's first bet is to lay it all to the Most High by Hashem Yahweh Shai and go to her husband. We need help. We need counsel. We need to read. We need to pray. We need to fast. Anything spiritual to help the family and the household, that's need to be done. But if those things aren't done, and that wicked woman's mind starts straying away from the laws of God, it's only one thing for her to do, man. Because if your woman not following you, she won't follow somebody else. She's meant to follow, right? She's not meant to lead. So she's going to get carried away by some other spirit and or man. It says, but I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety. And subtlety is taking a one thing that is light and making it darkness. It doesn't what Esau do, man. Esau takes the scriptures and somehow twists it up to use it as a weapon against you. When these same scriptures are supposed to set you free. Right? A wicked man or take things out of Song of Solomon. How fair is thou? Right? Just text it to a woman on Facebook, man. Right? The Lord sitting there talking about the elect, and he using those same precepts, right? And he's spitting game with them. Fairest among women, right? And then she's like, oh, he knows the scriptures. He's polite. He's using them. You just getting beguiled. Next thing you know, right, you're in fornication. You're in idolatry. You're worshiping this man. He's on a pedestal. It says, through his subtlety, so your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Christ. It's not a hard thing, nor is it a deep, dark parable, what the Lord said. It's completely plain. But what's not plain is all of these doctrines coming in, twisting men's understanding. And the Lord said, plain upon tables, I want to get one more real fast, in Romans chapter 7. Right? And just because you sin in adultery, the Most High can forgive you. That's up to the Most High. Right? You could be destroyed from that. The Most High could forgive you. You may have the sure mercies of David. Right? We don't know. That's up to the Most High's judgment at the end lot in the end days. Right? If he has mercy on you, so well. But if he doesn't, you will be destroyed. Just because you commit a sin does not mean that you reset in the spirit that you could marry all over again. Or because you get kicked out of congregation, you can get married and go to the next congregation. Doesn't the scripture say she hunted for the precious life? I mean, they're not adulterous woman. She's on a hunt. Why? Because she's done with this husband. She's hunting for the next man. And then the next man. And the next man. She's on her fourth husband. And the truth. This Romans chapter 7 verse 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law have dominion over a man as long as he liveth. So as long as the husband is alive, the law of marriage has dominion over the wife. There's nothing she can do. She may separate for a season. She may get her spirit together and or his, right? They may go to counsel. There's many things, if things aren't in a spirit, that you can do to help, but you cannot just say you're not married no more, move to Mexico and start all over again. It says, for the woman which having husband is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth. And you have a lot of wicked men that are in Israel. Just because your husband is wicked doesn't mean that you're not married. Look at Abigail and Nabal. Right? Nabal was wicked. The Lord delivered Abigail out of that situation and gave her to a righteous man, David, after that man died to death. But until then, she was a righteous woman. She was bound into that wicked man, and she still kept the law. So no matter if you're upset, you're angry, right? Things aren't going your way, that doesn't change the law. It says, as long as he liveth, but if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband. Now, I mean you go sprinkling all type of chemicals in his drink and setting traps for him to fall in, man. Right? If the Lord take his spirit, you're free to marry them. But until then, you're bound under that law, right? Until that's what the Lord said. You got it, King.
Yeah, you mind if I read the next verse?
Con.
Right, it says, so then if, and that doesn't mean spiritually dead, right? Because you got brothers saying, women saying that, and brothers, well, look, he's spiritually dead. I can make her my wife now, right? He fell off. He went back into Islam or Christianity. He's spiritually dead, right? Therefore, I can marry him. Look, he went back to the valley of the dry bones. So go to Proverbs 21, right? He that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. They linking it up with the dead bodies in Revelation 11 and 8 and Ezekiel 37. And they're going through all of these precepts, man. And she said, oh, I never saw it like that. I didn't know, even spiritually dead. No, not spiritually dead. Literally dead. Flatline. Right? In the spirit world. No breath in the, because you got to make it simple to Jake, man. Because Eve, you don't get it. And Jake, you don't get it, man. I can see why the Most High told the Lord of Israel a damn 30 times, man, over and over again. Because you're hard-headed. I can see why Nehemiah had to beat people ass, man. Salaki for the language. I can see why Yahweh Shai had to make the whip, man, and drive them out the temple. At first, you look at it like, damn, that's a lot. Why? Whoa. But I can see it now, man. Because a lot of you Israelites, you're not right, man. You're not right. This is simple, like Araya was saying. Let's read this again, Romans 7:3. So then, if while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress. But if her husband be dead, she is free from that law, so that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man. Right? So that's the law. The man has to be dead, literally dead, for her to move on to the next man. Now, it's even beyond that, because the next man she has to be with, he has to be in the Lord. He has to be in the truth. Right? Let me get that in 1 Corinthians 7. Right? He can't just be down real, man. And you got a lot of women. We're gonna get to you, Jakes, too. You'll email, you'll call or you'll hop on a Monday Night Fire, or you'll be on the email and comment board. Okay, my husband, he's not studying. What do I do? Can I be with another man? Oh, my husband, he's what else they be saying? All types of madness. My husband, he's working so much long hours. Right? He's working, can I be with another man? Oh, my husband, he got another wife. And I don't like the household right now. Can I be with another man? Right? You got Jake asking for his woman. Can I have his woman up? Is she single? She just can't, I know she committed adultery, but can I deal with her? Yahweh's merciful, isn't he? Yahweh Shah is merciful. Then Israel go off, then Israel commit fornication. So they go to Ezekiel, 23? They go to Ezekiel 16, right? They go to all these Wisdom of Solomon 14-12.
Jeremiah 3.
Jeremiah, right? The Lord took Israel back. They go to Revelation 19 about the great marriage. That's not you, brother. That's between the Most High and Israel, man. So let me jump down real quick. right? This 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 39. The wife is bound by the law as long as her husband liveth. But if her husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in the Lord. So the man she has to marry, even if her husband dies, he has to be in the Lord. Can't be frail from down the street. A lot of sisters just hoping a husband, unfortunately, die, man. Something bad happened to him. He said, well, it's an accident. I got into an accident. I don't know. Oh, you sure? You sure you're all right? You sure you're all right? Then really, she's like, damn. All praises you made it home. Then she stormed upstairs and slammed the door that you made it home alive. The food's on the table. And throw a fit, man. That's wickedness, man. You got women waiting for their husband to damn dead. He had a rough day at Kent, hoping that he don't make it back from Kent. Then you got men hoping a woman fall out, man. Did you commit adultery yet? Who's that right there you calling? Is that your husband? Yeah, ha. You committed adultery, right? No, it's my cousin. It's my cousin Earl. No, that's that nigga Earl, right? You're out, and he start throwing all her stuff out the house. Ooh, finally got rid of her. Couldn't wait till she committed adultery. So this is the wickedness you got going on in Israel, man. Right? Brothers got it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this quick precept. And two, when you go into it, the scriptures plainly show you through the accounts and through the law that you cannot remarry again. You can't go into an adulterous whore right after she committed adultery. Right, we're about to prove it. Right, this is 2 Samuel chapter 12, and I'm gonna get straight to the point in verse 11. Right, 2 Samuel, right, chapter 12, verse 11, and it reads. It says, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thy own house, right? Because David committed adultery. And I will take thy wives before thine eyes and give them unto thy neighbor. And he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of the sun. So the Lord says, since you went off and committed adultery and did a wicked, heinous act, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have your wives, I'm going to have them do the same in sight of all Israel. I mean, it's going to be a public show for everybody to see, right? Verse 12, it says, for thou did it secretly. And a lot of brothers do stuff secretly, man. You secretly bat your eyes and you stare at another man's woman, man. You know all about that brother's woman. You know where she cooked. You already know when you see the macaroni and cheese at the feast day who made it. She be throwing down, eating. I already know how she get down, right? You know a little bit too much. You're watching, creeping. It says, thou didst it secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel and before the sun. And that's the Most High, because that's the Spirit. The Lord said all things, paraphrasing greatly, that are in the dark are going to come to light. And the Lord said, I'm going to do this before the whole sun, showing you that light is going to be made manifest of your deeds in the dark. It says, and David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, the Lord also have put away thy sin. Right, because he has the sure mercies of David. The Most High forgive them. David was really supposed to be put to death. Thou shalt not die. Now I want to jump right to 2 Samuel, right, chapter 20 and verse number 3. Now when David went off and committed adultery, and the Lord said, I'm going to have the same happen to you by the hand of Absalom. Now this is 2 Samuel chapter 20 and verse number 3. And David came to his house at Jerusalem, and the king took the 10 women, his concubines, whom he had left to keep the house, and put them inward and fed them, but went not into them. So they were shut up, right, until the day of their death, living in widowhood, right? So if you have a wife, you're supposed to do the duty of marriage. You have your concubines, you have your wives, right? You have to do the duty of marriage. That's in the law, in Leviticus, right? Chapter 21 and verse 10 all the way down. You have to do the duty of marriage, which is giving them what? You have to lay down with them. Make sure that they're pleased. You're taking care of the household, right? They have food, they have raiment. You have to make sure that you're keeping the law. David kept the law. These women went off, and the Lord said, look, they were shut up, living in widowhood until their death. Right, you got it.
Yeah, and real quick, you got women and men, they're using precepts to justify their adultery. There was a Eve that committed adultery, and here's the precept she quoted. Right? This is Matthew, the 12th chapter. Right? This is St. Matthew, right? Chapter 12 and verse 39. But he answered and said unto them, an evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it but the sign of the prophet Jonas.
Yep,
So,
I remember that.
Yeah, the Eve said, well, it is an adulterous generation, and she kind of, went back. She went back to what she was doing. Her husband called it out on it, and she pretty much said, hey, I'm in this adulterous generation. It is what it is. So you got Eve using these precepts too to justify their wickedness. Here's another precept that we're finding out that they're using. Let's go to Hosea 4. Right? This Hosea chapter 4 and 14. I'm going to start at 13. Hosea 4 and 13. They sacrifice upon the tops of the mountains and burn incense upon the hills, under oaks and poplars and elms, because the shadow thereof is good. Therefore your daughters shall commit whoredom, and your spouses shall commit adultery. I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom, nor your spouses when they commit adultery. For themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore the people that doth not understand shall fall. So you got a lot of Jake saying, okay, well, my woman committed adultery. I don't have to put her away, because this is a fulfillment of Hosea 4. Eve is hopping from rod to rod, saying you can't put me away. This is Hosea chapter 4 and 14. Right? So you got this verse being used. And that's speaking about in that generation at that time for those men. Right? Because they were committing spiritual whoredom and fornication. Right? So the Most High judged them. And Hosea prophesied to the northern kingdom. Right? Nevertheless, if your wife commits adultery, you have to put her away. There's no thinking about it. There's no, okay, well, we have 10 children together, and we've been together for, 15 years, and what if my woman, and and you're trying to, well, she didn't mean to, and she did cry a little bit, and hey, brother, you better suck it up, man. You better man up and put that woman away, put her in the back where she belonged, man. You got a lot of spineless, effeminate men. Oh, well, I mean, think about it. She's from the tribe of Judah. Where am I ever going to find another rib from? Where am I ever going to get another woman? Let a brother come to me with that, man. Where am I going to find another woman? Not Kwam. I'm going to be hot, man. Right? You're commanded to put away your wife for adultery. Right? It's not optional. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus 2. Let me get that as well. Right? Actually, we're already here. Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 and 26. If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go. And a real quick point I just thought about, even that precept Ariah you went into, the Most High killed David's son, man. Right? So the Most High, even though you may repent, the Most High still jam you up. Repentance doesn't always disannul an incoming judgment from God, man. Right? Now, real quick, I'm gonna read this one more time. If she go not as thou wouldest have her, meaning if she commits adultery. Right now, we understand this as fornication and adultery, and we apply the true spirit of the law that was given to us from Yahweh Shai to apply this precept. In its actual time of Sirach, it was in the spirit of the hardness of the heart of Israel, pursuant to Deuteronomy chapter 24, right? But if she go not as thou wouldest have her, if you're a man that doesn't have the hardness of your heart, that has the spirit and accepts the teaching of Yahweh Shai, you're going to keep this law in its perfection. See, when Yahweh Shai came in the scene, he taught the law perfectly. He told you what adultery was. Adultery is even if you lust after a woman. That wasn't expounded on during the time of Moses. He went into murder. Hatred is when you murder your brother as well, right? So a lot of laws were finally broken down perfectly by Yahweh Shai, even the law of adultery. So the true spirit of understanding behind this verse is, if she go not as thou wouldest have for, I mean, if she commits fornication. Now you got brothers saying, well, I'm kind of, she laid down with a woman. That's not really adultery. Because I've seen that in Israel too. Israel, you got women laying down with women. We've seen it, man, or heard of it, rather. You know, oh, she was kissing on this woman. She laid down with this woman. She did an act. It's not really adultery because it wasn't with a man. I took it back. You know, it's not that bad. I'm kind of into. Hey, that's still adultery. You had this one more account. You had this one. You had this one brother. All right, I don't know if you remember this, Whoreddom. You had this one brother that took his woman to her father's house. Now, this happened in Israel.
I remember that.
And her father popped her, man. Right? He took over to her father's house and her father popped her. Now, that's adultery. Then he said, okay, well, we got to go, babe. We got to go home. Right? I don't know what to do. That's my woman. Hey, you got to put her away, man. You can't justify adultery. But you got to Whoreddom before I start going to a lot. You know, there's a lot, man. A lot of things we've heard.
I want to say
before we get out of here.
It's in Ecclesiastes 4:16. There is no end of all the people. So
Right.
There's no point to getting caught up to one person, right? Even in itself, marriage is a business through the spirit. And if you have the ancient understanding to see it, it was always done appropriately with papers. You know, money was kind of mentioned and involved. And some Israel may be getting offended what I'm saying, but that's how it was done. Not a lot of Israel may be saying, well, where's the love and the roses and the petals upon the bed, you know? But you got to think of it in an ancient world spirit, and that's what helps you grow in this thing. You got to remember, there's multiple women on this earth. No man should be, you know, kind of in bed listening to, what did Jake listen to? Listen to sad songs to evoke that spirit of sadness. Eating ice cream. Yeah, crying at night, tugging on his pillow, kind of laying on his back, kind of putting his hand out, grabbing the air, pretending it's her, missing her, you know, scrolling through all the pictures. You're just scrolling through the pictures all night. You know, you got to let that go, you know. Let me get that in Ecclesiastes 4:16. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of the spirit. I mean, there's more than enough women on this earth. Not to say you should, you know, I'm not encouraging Jake, just hurry up and get married. But, I mean, that's just another perspective to see it pre-adventure if that situation were to happen to you, right? You don't stay and stick in the mud. You know, you got to keep it pushing through the spirit. And it's easier said than done. You know, it's easier said than done. But you got to keep it pushing. You know, they say in the world, well, I ain't going to go into it, but I'm going to get this last one. It says in Sirach chapter 27 and verse 22, he that winketh with his eyes worketh evil, and he that knoweth him will depart from him. Right? When you winking at stuff, you kind of just condemning it. Just kind of letting it slide, not thinking too much of it, you know, kind of just, it was just with a dog. I mean, that's a father, that's baby girl and dad, you know. Jake just think of excuses to keep that woman. They trim their ways for love. And you can't do that. You can't, you know, you can't wink at things all the time. Well, the Lord winked at my sins. You pull out Acts 17 and 30. The Lord winked at me. So why can I wink at this? You're not the Most High. You're a man. And you're going to die like a man. All right? Everybody's going to die. The only person that doesn't give up the ghost is the Most High. So you can't compare yourself on him in situations like this. I want to get one more in Proverbs chapter 30, verse 18. There be three things which are too wonderful for me, And this isn't wonderful in the way that we may commonly understand it to be, such as beautiful or magnificent. This wonderful is more so speaking in the context of hard to fathom, hard to get your mind across, right? There be three things which are too wonderful for me. Yea, four, which I know not, or I can't really get it. The way of the eagle in the air, nobody can really truly fathom how an eagle just flies like that in the air. No one can break it down to the science. The shape of the wing and the wind, how it flows, you can't really understand that. The way of a serpent of a rock, I still have a hard time trying to figure out how that snake move, right? The way of a ship in the midst of a sea, and the way of a man with a maid, such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth, and saith, I have done no wickedness. That's a hard thing to get sometimes. Now we understand through the spirit, it's just demons and demonic angels on people and just devils on people. But sometimes it's still kind of hard to fathom. Like, what do you mean you didn't do nothing wrong? You slept with 10 men. I mean, you got to live your life. Those are the things that they may say. I got to live my life, YOLO. You got to try. You got to try every Kool-Aid packet in a box. I've heard a lot of things, and I wish I didn't hear a lot of things. But that's just the way of life. But with that, I yield.
And I want to bring out this too, right? Like the brother was going into, we heard it all, man. Right, just not too long ago, it was his brother dealing with this adulterous woman, and she was beating him, right? Slapping him around, grabbing him up, choking him out, right? And he's still dealing with this woman, man. Brothers gave him counsel, help, right? Told him what he ought to do through the spirit. The brother just neglects the counsel, right? And/or was double-minded about the counsel and still dealing with this woman, right? So, it's sad that sorcery has a hold on men and women's mind when it comes to how they feel about one another. It's the law of the Most High. These things you should not be ashamed of. Don't let your emotions override the judgment of the Lord, right? This is the mighty book, right, of Job, chapter 31, right? And even from the time of Job, right, you had our mighty forefather Joseph. He fled from adultery, right? When Joseph's wife tried to grab him up, he had left his garment in her hand. Meaning she was choking, grabbing him up, had him like this. He ran, he tore it off of him and fled out of the midst of sin. And that's how you got to be. Because a woman just like America will force it upon you with her smooth words, right? With her laughter, her bat in her eyes, with her jokes, with her soothsayings, and all of that's going to play a role on you. And guess what? Even if she don't get you physically, she got your mind. Now you dreaming about her. Now you lusting after her. Now, damn, Satan catch you by night. Right now you want clean. Now you're thinking about her all day long in the midst, right, while you're supposed to be at work, paying attention. Now you're getting written up at work for daydream. Right? This woman has got you, and it's all a plague of Satan. It's Job chapter 31, right in verse number 1. I made a covenant with mine eyes. Why then should I think upon a maid? Right? I made a covenant to have my eyes upon righteousness. Why should I drift aside and have them on sin? For what portion of God is there from above, and what inheritance of the Almighty from on high? Is not destruction to the wicked and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity? That's why when you see people that commit adultery and/or are tied up in these sex scandals, it's always ending the worst. Somebody get jammed up in a car accident. Somebody get jumped. It's plenty of occasions on the earth of people getting their brains blown out, man. Women grabbing a gun and breaking down with a bat, lighting their husband's car on fire, jumping on top of a car as it's moving, punching their hand through the window, right? Cutting their flesh, they leaking out, right? These spirits that people have on these wicked, toxic, evil relationships, right, are all stemming from judgment from the Most High. It says, do not he see my ways and count all my steps. If I have walked with vanity, or if my foot have hasted to the sea. Walking in vanity is going into walking to your neighbor's house. That's the vanity manner walking. Because vanity in your mind, you think, well, it's not that serious. Well, the Most High said, look, if you even thinking in your heart, you already committed adultery. So all you men that like to look at, damn, this old school thing, but damn, Beauty of the Weekend, looking at BET and all of these different things, you're lusting. Lust is going to bring forth that action in your mind. Come on, go ahead.
Yeah, quick point. And you brothers that like to follow other men's wives on social media, man. Right? And just click on their page and kind of just see what they got going on, man. You scrolling and you might like something and then kind of get out of there, man. Right? That's you brothers too, man. Right? You got it.
Yeah, that's a fact. Even liking the pictures, man. Right? Going as far as to say I haven't seen him at camp. Is he okay? Starting messages. Right? It says in verse number 6, let me be weighed in an even balance. Meaning the Most High is going to weigh all your works. He knows what you're thinking about, the spirit you're in, what you dream about, that God may know my integrity. If my step have turned out of the way, and mine heart, it says, and my heart, because it's not just about physical. Or you have spiritual adultery, man. Israel committed spiritual adultery. Right? The Lord said, if you lust after women in your heart, you have committed adultery. You can't want to kill all day long, don't have the opportunity to, but it was rooted in your heart. You're a murderer. You can't hate your brother all day long and not issue that out loud and think that the Most High is not still going to judge you. So if it's deep within your heart, these emotions you have for other women, it says, and my heart have walked after mine eyes. And if any blot have cleaved to my hands, any blot, then let me be slacky, then let me sow and let another eat. And it said, yet, slacky, yea, let my offspring be rooted out. Right? Just like David, his child was killed. So the Lord will uproot your child. Right? You can read about that in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 4th chapter. Right? As adulterous bread, it shall not take root. It says, if my heart have been deceived by a woman, or if I have laid wait at my neighbor's door, that's off. Just laying wait for the proper opportunity, man. Knowing when he go to work, knowing what he doing and what he dealing with and his weak points, and you getting your woman to invite her over and whatever the case may be. You're just laying wait so that you could commit adultery. You're premeditating adultery. And people do that. And it's big business in Hollywood and in the world, sex and adultery. I mean, look at what's his name? Tyler Ferry. 9 out of 10 of his movies are dealing with lust, fornication, and idolatry. That's hot topics, man. People go to the club to commit adultery. Go on girls' trips. Right? It's a lot that this thing boils down to. It says, then let my wife grind into another. So the judgment, just like David dealt with, is for your woman, right, or your wives rather, to grind into another. And grind into another is not talking about grinding your teeth, right, because you're uncomfortable. It's talking about laying down with another man. And let others bow down upon her, right, meaning bow her down. It says, for this is an heinous crime. Yea, it is an iniquity to be punished by the judges. Right? Heinous is a wicked, evil, tremendous, detestable crime in the eyes of the Most High. Because like the brother was going into earlier, a bed is supposed to be undefiled. It's not supposed to be committed with all type of fornication, lewd acts, lasciviousness, lust, and all manner of concupiscence. So the Lord said it's going to be punished by the judges. And the judges are laid upon you to put you to death. Brothers got it.
Yeah, I want to get that definition for grind. So this is out the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, right? Page 208 for grind. The grinding of grain into flour. When pulverized, right? When pulverized between two heavy stones, man. So if your woman's grinding into another, she's being pulverized, right? So, I mean, these scriptures get graphic, man. They get real. I got a quick precept real quick, right? Let's go to Ecclesiasticus, right? Let's go to Ecclesiasticus, the 9th chapter, right? And I want to also touch on Deuteronomy, the 24th chapter as well, right? So brothers have to understand that you have to maintain your discipline, man. A woman, trying to talk to me, hey, I'm telling that brother, man. Hey, you know what I'm saying? And I tell him what I have to say, man. I don't even want to be around another man's woman, man. right? If I'm in a situation and I find myself with a man and his woman in the room and it's just us three, hey, I got something I gotta go do. You know, hey brother, you want to kick it with us? You want? No, I'm cool. I'll catch up with you later. You know, you got brothers that they have no type of shame. A brother and his woman say, man, you know, man, we're gonna kick it tonight, man. We're gonna go do. Can I come along? Can I come, King? Oh, come on, what y'all getting into, man? Man, you know, some just with the old lady, you know, kind of, you know, doing our thing. Come on, can I come? Then the brother just begging and lusting, man. Then you got a weak brother. Okay, King. Okay, King. He in the back seat. Brother pull over, you got to get gas. You walk in and get gas. Brother in the back seat talking to your woman. How your day going, beautiful? You know? Stop. Here he comes. Shh, here he comes. Then the brother act like you on his phone, huh? So you got a lot of simpleness going on. Simplicity. Right? The correct line. Oh, go ahead, King.
I was gonna say real quick, I've heard of an account, and this is in the world, you know, about not lie. I've heard the same situation you brought up, and a brother that's in a backseat, he has said something along the lines of, you know how you got that chain? Yeah, I kind of gave it to him. And the shoes too. And then he started talking about, hey man, remember that loan I had to give you? When are you gonna pay that back? Just discrediting him and tearing down his name and mashing up his life and his name and everything he stands for. Give me my shoes back. You saying that real loud. Give me my shoes back, Ak. Those are mine. And the chain in front of his woman.
Yeah, that's a damn shame, man. You Negroes have no shame, right? This Ecclesiasticus. And then you got brothers that pull rank to take another brother's woman, man. Or he just a prospect, right? Why don't you get what you get with a general, right? I'm the captain. I need to talk to your woman, Ak. I need your woman's number on my phone, Ak. Right? I need your woman too. I need her number in case something go down. I need to make sure you're in the spirit, King. I need your woman number on my phone now. You got the prospect. He twiddling his thumbs. He trying to figure out, okay, but that's I need here. Right? Then the brother put his woman number all on your damn phone, man. You had a brother like that, man. There was a brother, and he had every woman, you know, a number in his damn phone, man. Talking to this woman late night. They call it what the brother say, agony auntie, whatever that is, man. Oh, we just talking. This woman's married. He's married, and they on the phone late at night consoling one another about each other's marriage. Oh, my wife burnt the 11 bread. Oh, well, my husband, he's working too long. Oh, well, my wife, she doesn't deal with this right. Well, my husband, and just damn yapping, man. And I'm not going to tell you the rest of what happened. You can figure it out. But this Ecclesiasticus chapter 9 and verse 8. Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman, and look not upon another's beauty. For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for herewith love is kindled as a fire. Man, once you start staring, you're going to, like the brother was saying, you're going to start thinking. That flame is kindled. And you start fantasizing. And you start lusting. Asking the brother where his rib at on the feast day. You know? Taking something from the rib, from the brother woman, man. You might take her damn brother reaching there, take something out of her damn purse or something, just so he can give it back to her. Right? Hey, is this yours? I found this. You dropped this on the floor. Oh, thank you, Ak. Man, no problem, sis. He made sure he put on a whole bunch of damn oil before he did it, man. Some good oil. You know, combed his beard out so he can hand her something. You got brothers taking stuff from him to give it back to him. You know, trying to bump into him, seeing when they going up to the bathroom so they can get up and follow them, and so it could be a coincidence. All types of crafty niggatry, man. Right? You can't even be looking at a woman, another man.
So like a real fast, keep walking back and forth so you could be seen.
Yeah, walking back and forth, man. Right? The brother normally walk like a robot. Then he walked past your woman. He kind of, start doing stuff, man. Right? Verse 9. Sit not at all with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in thine arms, and spend not thy money with her at the wine, lest thine heart incline unto her, and so through thy desire thou fall into destruction. So you can't even sit down with another man's wife. Let me catch another man sit with my woman on a feast day or congregation, right? Let something like that happen, man. It's going to be no small matter. And that's for all of us, man. I don't talk to these brothers' women, man. I don't have their number saved in my phone. I don't want to see their woman, man. And they don't want to see my woman, man. That's your possession. Then you got this madness in Israel. We all friends. We all ain't no friends with another man's woman, man. Brother come to my rib give him a hug, and he give my rib a hug. No, ain't none of that happening, man. You can't sit with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in thine arms. Yeah, start sitting with a woman in your arms. She might like your grip. Wow, look at his hands. His hand, my husband's hands don't feel like that. He got them small hands. This brother got strong hands. Look how he hugged me tight. Damn, he wore frankincense and myrrh. My husband only wear myrrh. He got frank and myrrh on, man. Right? Hey, man, them spirits hop on you. And spend not thy money with her at the wine. You don't be getting drinks with another woman, man. Taking shots. I knew a brother that wanted to take a shot with a bunch of women, man. We had to get on that brother. He waited till all of the brothers went outside, was doing their thing. The Aquath was doing their thing. He crept back inside and tried to take shots with a bunch of men's wives, man.
Yeah, the afro.
Yeah, yep. Yep, he walked back in there. He snuck back in there when brothers was doing their thing, poured a little bottle, and then tried to give all of the women a cup, man. It says, and spend not thy money with her at the wine, lest thine heart incline unto her, and so through thy desire, meaning your lust, thou fall into destruction. Right? Let's go to Ecclesiasticus. Right? The 41st chapter, which we pull these precepts all the time, and we have to keep pulling them because, Jake, you just don't get it, man. You're not going to get it till you die. The Lord said the iniquity of this people will not be purged till they die in the book of Isaiah, the 21st chapter. Right? Ecclesiasticus chapter 41 and verse 20. These are things that men of the Lord should be ashamed of. Yes, there are men that should be shamefaced in certain matters. It's not just 1 Timothy 2:9 on down for the woman. You have men that have to have a level of modesty and discretion as they move in the land of the living. There are things that you should be ashamed to do, man. And Ecclesiastes chapter 41, it gives you a beautiful list, right? So in verse 20, it says, and of silence before them that salute thee, and to look upon the harlots. So you should be ashamed if a brother salutes you and you ignore him. You should be ashamed to look upon a harlot. You got brothers that be lusting after these women. They don't have no damn clothes on, like you said, these damn magazines and websites, and I'm just looking. I only look for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Then you turn away, man. Right? No, you can't look upon a harlot, man. And to turn away thy face from thy kinsman, or to take away a portion or a gift, or to gaze upon another man's wife. Right? So don't be gazing at another man's wife, man. Trying to look at her across the room so y'all can make eye contact. Then you look away real quick. Right? Then you make eye contact again. It says, or to be over busy with his maid. Yeah, me and your rib, we got to run some errands. We're going to run to the liquor store real quick. Anybody need anything? Me and your rib, we out. You just over busy, man. Can your rib come over and help my rib out? You keep asking for this brother's rib to come over. My rib sewing up some garments. Can your rib come over? I can bring in all of the, whatever Jake make up, man, to be over busy. A lot of brothers are real crafty, man. They'll try to find a way to talk to your woman. It might be woman serving food. Oh yeah, his woman serving the chicken. Okay, let me go over there and kind of, make some conversation. Can I get that piece right there? What you think? Should I get that one or that one? And when you get both of them, right? Nah, I don't know. What you think. I got a hell of an appetite. I could eat. Jake start talking, man. And you start getting over busy with his woman. It says, and come not near her bed. Let a brother catch another brother near his woman's bed, man. You have no excuse. There's nothing you can say. You invite a brother over your crib for, a new moon or something. He upstairs on your woman's bed, man. Oh, I was looking for the bathroom. You said one left. You said go downstairs, take a left. And then I don't know what I was thinking. It says, or of upbraiding speeches before friends, after thou was given upbraid not. And a lot of you brothers, you put yourself in these situations, man, because you have no self-control. You have no self-discipline, man. You can't help yourself, and she can't help herself. And when the Most High put you to death, that's on you, man, because you have literally no self-control and rule over your spirit. My brother's got it.
I was going to get this real quick in Esther chapter 7, verse 8.
I was just thinking of that precept too when I was reading that. That's the spirit.
All praises. It reads, then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine, and Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Esther was. Then said the king, will he force the queen also before me in the house? As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face. And they got him quickly too. And it wasn't his intention to be with Esther, right? He hated the Jews. That wasn't his intention. I'm gonna hurry up and lay with her real quick. But that doesn't matter when you're the husband. That doesn't matter. That's why it says in Proverbs chapter 6, verse 34, for jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore, he will not spare in the day of vengeance. Now, whatever happens, happens. You can tell a brother, hey, don't do nothing. You can tell a brother don't do nothing for so much and for so long, right? But jealousy is the rage of a man. That's why a lot of times, and we've seen the videos where adultery may have happened on YouTube or Twitter, wherever, and judgment happens. There's not a whole lot of remorse. There's not a whole lot of empathy towards that man or that woman that may have committed adultery. The first thing man usually thinks of, what they say, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Right.
Jake not going to really care what happens to that man, because they'll realize and think, dang, that was me, and I don't know what I would do. Jake think the same thing. I don't know what I would do, but there's no stopping me. That doesn't always mean it's righteous, but it's we kind of know on a mortal man level, it's understandable, not saying you should do something wicked and destroy man and slay man. But if it were to happen, we know the reason why it happened, right? And there's not a whole lot of empathy behind that, because at the end of the day, it's going to be determined to be judgment from the hand of the Lord. And something else, but you got it. I forgot it.
Let me get this quick precept inside right, chapter 23, in verse. This whole thing is fire. I'm gonna start at 21, right? And a lot of these things, they kind of stem off of pure ignorance, right? You're moving too fast, but you've only been in the truth for 4 months, and you're looking for a wife. You only been in the truth for 2 months, and you're looking for a wife. A lot of brothers, they still in a prospect program, trying to build up to be soldiers. A lot of brothers have one wife, they looking to get 2, looking to get 3, looking to get 4. Right? You're just not moving in wisdom. You're moving out of pure ignorance. Now, you have lust, but you also have just pure ignorance. You have no discernment at all. Just because she said shalom, she know 4 Hebrew words. And she got an extra long dress. She got to pull it up, right, so she don't trip. Right? And then she got a real long damn head wrap don't mean that she's the one. Let me get this quick precept. It's the mighty book of Sirach, chapter 23, and I'm going to start at verse 21. This man shall be punished in the streets of the city, and where he suspecteth not, he shall be taken. And that's the judgment of what? An adulterous man and an adulterous woman. The Lord said this man shall be punished in the streets. That's the strange workers of iniquity, like the Lord was going into in Job, the 31st chapter. A strange punishment for the workers of iniquity. So when you least expect it, you're going to be shot, killed, right? The Lord is going to have some strange thing happening to you to destroy you. It says, thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband and bringeth an heir by another. Are you sitting up there, you divorced your husband? There is no divorce. No, I'm getting a divorce. I'm sick of this. I had enough, right? Then you just sign a paper, and that's carnal. And the Lord said, what the Most High had joined together, let man not put asunder. So no man, no court, no elder, no leader, no priest can put asunder what the Most High has joined together. Because once you become one flesh, that's the end all be all. You can't separate any longer. It says, for first she hath disobeyed the law of the Most High, right? She hath played the whore. She hath disrespected the covenant that her and her fathers have entered in from the days of old. And secondly, she hath trespassed against her own husband, right? You defiled your husband's, bed, and you defiled his possession. That's like somebody using your soap, man. You think somebody gonna want to use that soap? Right? They wash rag. Damn, they stick it to you. You're not about to use that, man. You can't take somebody's woman and then use her, man, and think that that's okay in the eyes of the Most High. Brothers got it.
Right. And I want to get this in 1 Corinthians 7. Right. I want to touch a little bit on 1 Corinthians 7 because, again, you have brothers saying, we have to clear this up just because of the doctrines out there. There is no justification in teaching that a woman that's married to a man in the world must divorce him and get with a man of the Lord in the congregation. Right? Because if that woman's in the world, that brother, he can still deal with that woman, man. He could build her up. He could teach her, and even if she don't get edified and she's of the world, hey, let Yahweh Bashman Shai deal with that matter, man. You can't tell that man, okay, Aqua, she's not getting it. You got all these sisters in the congregation. You got to put her away. Okay, get with one of these sisters. If you don't do that, then you're not going to be in the camp. Same thing. A sister come in, she want to learn. My husband, he's in the world. He's into Islam. He's in Christianity. He wants to take me to church. Then you got brothers saying, well, sis, you got to put him away. You got to divorce him and get with Officer Josiah, right? Get with Brother Judah. You got to get with Brother Judah. Leave him. Well, I don't know. Well, we'll help you through that. If you want to get the kingdom of heaven, you got to put that man away. Oh, well, okay. Right? Officer Judah, come here. Come on. This is now your new wife, Sister Sarah. Right? And that's what's going on, man. Officer Judah, Sister Sarah's married, man. Now, when his husband come in that damn congregation and like the brother went into for jealousy's the rage of a man, he don't care that you're Officer Judah, man. Ain't no angel protecting you from this brother coming in with an AR-15 and lighting up the congregation, man, because you done committed adultery. You laying down with this woman, man. Let him find out. Right? This man not keeping no laws and commandments. He don't care about none of this. He gonna do it. He gonna do what a Negro is gonna do, man. And he gonna make things happen. He gonna shake up that building, man. So we want to clear that up because people are going to 1 Corinthians 7. Then you got brothers saying, so much damn going on. A brother that's married, then if he lays down with another woman, he committed adultery. You're out the congregation. You laid down with another woman. You were married. This woman didn't have no husband. She didn't have. She wasn't betrothed, but you laid down with her. That's adultery. You're out. Not a brother thinking he committed adultery, man. What else? There's something else going on, man. Oh, Then you got the also brothers saying that, okay, well, man, that's so much. I'm trying to make sure I got it all. A sister, she's divorced. She committed adultery. She's divorced and put away, but another man could take her because she was divorced the right way. Right? She committed fornication and adultery, but it was done on paper. So now another man could take her. So, and a lot of that stems from a misunderstanding of 1 Corinthians 7. So I want to touch on the maybe the first few verses, and we could go through here and there, right? So this 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and 1, right? Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman, right? It is good, man, because a man, he can focus on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Doesn't mean that a man shouldn't deal with a woman. Paul didn't have a woman. John the Baptist, Yahushua, Elijah, a lot of men, Jeremiah, they didn't have women, man. Right? And their whole focus was the Most High. That's what we tell brothers that come into the body, your primary focus is getting built up as a man to the Lord, man. Like Ariah was saying, don't be coming in, you looking for women, man. You become in, your woman is wisdom. Right? Verse 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. That does not mean one. We covered this before.
Right.
When it says let every man have his own wife, it doesn't mean every man have one wife. I can have two phones. This my own phone. Then it's my own phone right here. Both of them are mine. I have two of them. Titus is called Paul's own son. And Timothy is called Paul's own son. He called both of those men his own son. Own never means one. And let every woman have her own husband, right? Unless it's a woman dealing with her own husband, right? Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, because that goes back to the law. Exodus 21 and 10, the duty of marriage is laying down with your woman. The due benevolence doesn't mean, okay, I bought her flowers. I'm treating her well. I took her to the beach and I showed her the damn jet black sand. No, man, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. You have to render. Ain't no, I'm watching the big game. Your woman come downstairs or upstairs, you come into bed. Yeah. Right? And he just flipped the channel and he turned to ESPN 3 to watch badminton, man. Hey, he's supposed oh, go ahead, King.
Watching men.
Yeah, right. He's supposed to be up there with his woman. And likewise, also the woman to the husband. So the woman, she got to lay down with her husband, man. She can't say this on lockdown. Right? You was late for work. You didn't take the trash out. She take her little key and she put it in her shirt. Right? You're on the couch and she throw him the pillows like they do in the war on TV. They throw the pillows and the damn blanket. You're in the dog. And he says, I'm in the dog. What is it? I'm in a dog pound, man.
I'm in a doghouse.
Yeah, I'm in a doghouse, man. Ain't no man of the Lord in the damn doghouse, man. Right? And your woman gotta lay down with you. And there's a whole lot behind that too. Right? Because a brother might say, okay, all right. Right? Your woman sitting up there, she praying to the Most High. Come here. No, that's not what it's talking about, man. So you got to have some discernment with this verse too. Brother, he's down there, he in a lesson, he doing a video, his woman come. No, man. You got to have some discernment with that, man. Right? One more. The wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise, also the husband hath not power of his own body, but the wife, right? Because y'all are one flesh. Right? So if the husband has needs, those needs must be fulfilled. A woman has needs. Her needs must be fulfilled sexually, intimately, right? And marriage is, that's a part of marriage, laying down with one another, all right? So a brother has to understand what these verses are actually talking about, man, right? Don't take Paul's epistles and use them for adultery and witchcraft and sorcery, right? Brothers got it.
Khan, I think brothers quoted it, but I wanted to get Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse number 1. right? We touched on Matthew, the 19th chapter, right? We touched on various precepts proving that, you know, if you lay down with another man's wife, right, that's adultery. On top of that, that woman has to be put away, right? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3 and verse 1. They say if a man put away his wife and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return again? Right, Salakia, return unto her again? Shall not that land, and the land is fertile, which is going into that woman, because the earth is a woman, right? Jerusalem is a woman. You plant seed into a woman. So that land is talking about a woman, right? It says, shall return again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? And we know what pollutes a land when you sow diverse seeds, right? So the Lord is saying, look, you can't be dibbling and dabbling in all of this strange wickedness of the world and of lewdness. It says, but thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith the Lord, right? It says, lift up thine eyes into the high places and see where thou hast been lying with, and the ways that thou hast set for them, as the Arabian in the wilderness, and as thou hast polluted the land with thy whoredom and with thy wickedness, right? You can scroll down a little bit more. It says, therefore the showers have been withholden, and there have been no latter rain. And thou hast a whore's forehead, thou refuseth to be ashamed. And certain women, they get rebuked, right? They get taken to counsel, right? They get help. You fast, you know, sisters are fast with a sister, brothers are fast with a brother. Some people just don't get it because they're really not repented from that old man. That flesh is really still deep rooted within them. They're not really walking in the image of the Lord. They're still really that old man. And you have to really say, well, am I moving in the old spirit? Am I that old man? Because that old man used to think clubs was fun. A woman dressing half naked was fun. Certain jokes was fun. Certain things you shouldn't find funny anymore coming into the truth. Certain clothing should make you disgust and not arouse. Certain thoughts and desires you used to want in the world should become wicked when you even think about them and or they're presented to you by the spiritual demon Satan. So certain people, they just have a whore's forehead, meaning they're just stubborn. They don't want to change. They're evil, and they refuse to be ashamed from their wickedness. And those type of people have to be burned with fire, because the Most High is telling you once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not. So, I mean, it's saying the same thing in the Old Testament as it's saying in the New Testament. You got it.
Con. And I want to get, I think, Yaradon, you quoted this, but I'm going to get this as well. This is Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter, and verse 33. Jeremiah 2 and 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked one thy ways. Because Jake, you'll trim your ways, which means what? You know what righteousness is. You know what ought to be done, but you'll trim your ways. You'll sit there and not be as righteous as you should be because of a woman or because of your emotions, man. You know the law say that you ain't supposed to be looking at another man's wife, right? But now you're sitting there trimming your ways because she's trying to make eye contact with you. You know the law. Okay, well, now you're staring, man. Right? This woman, you know she committed adultery. You know it. Well, I can't really prove it. I wasn't there. Brother, you saw the video that she recorded on her own phone. Well, man, it's AI. You know, they got the AI technology out. You got to think about it, because when ain't no explanation for that, brother. But I love her. If she commits adultery, it's over, brother. Right? You can't trim your ways to seek love. Then you got Eve that do the same thing, man. You know you married to this brother right here. But now you're looking at this brother. Wow, he knows so much. Look at his beard. He's not like, he doesn't have a beard like my husband's beard. Look how tall he is. Look at that staff in his hand. Look how he's strong and mighty. Right? Wow. I just have to. And now you secretly watching this guy, man. You're watching his videos. You're thinking about him. Right? You at the feast day looking for this guy, man. Is brother so-and-so going to be there? Oh man. Right? Let that happen, man. Let one of these brothers' women ask him, his brother so-and-so going to be there. You say no, and they say, oh man. There ain't no oh man, man. Your woman make you a little plate, she make him a big plate. You know, he like to eat. Put his favorite this, you know, his favorite damn meal, man. You know he don't like when his greens touch his sweet potatoes. Right? You know, he like to wear this on that day, and you know, he got this oil in his beard. Shalom, King, what is that? Frank and Murray in your beard again? And spikenard? You know you married, sis. You and his brother inbox asking questions, man. On his page, watching his stories, trying to figure out what his life is about. You're trimming your ways to seek love, man. Hey, and the Most High is going to give you over to those spirits, man. Right? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 24. Right? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 24. Deuteronomy chapter 24 and verse 1. When a man hath taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he hath found some uncleanness in her, then let her write, then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house. So in an ancient world, due to the hardness of the heart of Israel, man would find this uncleanness and they would use it for anything. They say, okay, well, look, you know, she I don't know, she, like I said, she burnt the unleavened bread, right? She wore red. I wanted her to wear blue. I'm going to divorce her and send her out of my house, right? And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. And if the latter husband hate her and write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and sendeth her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife, her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife. After that, she is defiled, for that is abomination before Yahweh. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which Yahweh thy God giveth thee for an inheritance. So let's say a man puts away his wife and she commits fornication, right? First of all, another man can't take her. You can't go to Deuteronomy 24 and say she may go and be another man's wife, because you can't marry a woman that's put away. That's Matthew 19, right? You can't marry another man's wife that's put away for adultery. She's either going to receive mercy from the Most High if she repent, or she's going to be destroyed. Huh? It ain't no well, Deuteronomy 24 and 2, she could be another man's wife. Then the Lord, let me actually get that real quick, Slakia. I don't want to paraphrase that, right? Matthew 19 real quick, right? Matthew 19 and 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except to be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her which is put away doth commit adultery. If you marry a woman that's put away, you doth commit adultery. Now you might say, well, this brother never put her away. He never legally put her away. Therefore, I can marry her. Yeah, she committed adultery, but he didn't put her away yet. She just left. She left on her own. She committed adultery and left alone. So you got brothers trying to be crafty with this thing, right? You're trying to turn it to a Negro. But that's why it tells you, Salakia, in Jeremiah 3, that land is defiled. Right? And reading this again, and if the latter husband hate her and write her a bill of divorcement, meaning the second man, and giveth it in her hand and sendeth her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife, her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife. So you can't write your wife a bill of divorcement. She lay down with another man, and then you take her back. Or you write your wife a bill of divorcement. She don't lay down with another man, and you still take her back because you're commanded to put her away. Because once she commits adultery, the land is defiled. You can't take the land back after it's defiled. It's an abomination. How filthy is that, man? You woman got popped by another man. His seed is inside of her. You take her back. She take a shower, then you go back inside of her, man. That's some freakism madness, man. But more importantly, it's a sin in the eyes of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. So no, you can't go to Deuteronomy 24 and justify a man putting away his wife and another man taking. That's just outright adultery, and it's a heinous act, man. Brothers got it.
It says in 1 Ezra chapter 4, verse 26, yea, many there be that have run out their wits for women and become servants for their sake. And that's what it is a lot of the times, right? In this case, again, I'm speaking directly towards the men. They may have this spirit on them, this demon on them, right? You're actually serving her. You're running out your way for her. You're losing your mind for her. At one point, you was chasing after the Lord. You was serving the Lord. You know, you righteously ran out your wits for the Lord, right? But now you end up serving this other woman, which is idolatry. Verse 27, many also have perished, have erred, and sinned for women, right? Because in this chapter, it goes into the 3 things that has a lot of power. And not to say woman has power over the man, but in cases like this that we're speaking of, man may give woman power over them. You know, she has a hold on me. You should have saw the way she looked at me. I can tell there's something going on in the house. She's crying out for help. Just making up stuff, just running out your wits for women. You know, and it's filthy. It's filthy work.
And I want to pull this up because when it comes to Deuteronomy 24, you have a controversy in Israel now, but you also had a controversy during the time of Yahushua. You had 2 famous schools of thoughts that came from 2 top rabbis, top jakes that was out there at the time. And one brother was named Hillel. You had another brother named Shammai. And they had a lot of differences when it came to doctrine. They had some similarities, but when it came to doctrine, they had an interpretation of the law. And these men was around roughly around the time of Yahushua. So when you pull up, let's see, House of Shammai and Hillel, right? And we'll just go to adultery. And you'll see even historically that they had differences when it came to the interpretation of the law. Now, a lot of men during the time of Yahushua, they were raised up in these 2 schools. You know, remember Peter was raised under the house of Gamaliel, right? When you go to Acts, let me get that real quick in Acts 22, right? Real quick. And Gamaliel was a top master of the law. This Acts 22:3. I am verily a man which am born a Jew, born in Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, yet brought up in this city at the feet of Gamaliel, and taught according to the perfect manner of the law of the fathers, and was zealous toward God, as ye all are this day. So he was taught by Gamaliel. Now Gamaliel, he was the top man, top teacher on the earth. Now, when you go to this man Gamaliel, right? Let's go into him in the we'll read him in the blue letter real quick because they give a brief description of Gamaliel. Right? Now, Gamaliel, it says, a Pharisee and celebrated doctor of the law, who gave prudent worldly advice in the Sanhedrin respecting the treatment of the followers of Yahushua. We learn from Acts 22:3 that he was the preceptor of Paul, meaning he taught Paul the precepts. He is generally identified with the very celebrated, it says, Jewish doctor Gamaliel, grandson of Hillel, and who is referred to as authority in the Jewish Mishnah. Now, the Mishnah is a written interpretation of every law of Moses. So they would go off of the Mishnah and say, okay, well, adultery means this. And they took the interpretation as law. That's where a lot of traditions came from, that the Pharisees followed. It came from the Mishnah. Now, Gamaliel, he came from the school of Hillel, right? That was his grandson. Grandfather. Now, Hillel, he was a master of the law. Hillel broke down Deuteronomy 24 in one fashion, and Shammai broke it down in another fashion. And if you were a Jew at that time, you came up in one of those schools of thoughts, right? That's why Yahweh Shai had to come on the scene and clear it up. So reading this real quick. This is from Judaism Stack Exchange, and there's other sites you can go to, but we're just doing this for the sake of time. Hillel and Shammai have different opinions. Hillel says you can divorce your wife for any reason. So when he went to Deuteronomy 24, he said uncleanness, that means for any reason, right? Shammai says you cannot divorce your wife for any reason. The only legitimate reason for divorce is adultery, right? Is Shammai against divorce in general, right? So they start asking questions. So the point is, these were the two main schools of thoughts. You can put away your wife for any cause. The uncleanness means anything, or does the uncleanness mean adultery? We understand that the interpretation of that law and uncleanness in the ancient world, they took it as any reason. So when Paul was taught that law, he taught it in that same breakdown that you could put away your wife for any reason. That was the perfect understanding at that time. But Yahweh Shai came with a scene and cleared it up and says, no, you can only put away your wife for adultery. So when Paul, Peter, John, James, when they all heard that, it was new to them. That's why they said, hey, look, well, it is not good that we should marry. Because everybody primarily came up under Gamaliel's grandfather. He was the authority of the law, right? And brothers are still going to this today. They still have that Hillel mindset saying you could put away your wife for any cause. And you could take a wife back that commits adultery for any cause and all types of lust and wickedness. Instead of growing up in this thing and taking the precepts that Yahweh Shai gave concerning adultery, fornication, and divorce, and accepting these as the ultimate teachings and the true authority of the Torah. Brothers got it.
Khan, and then two, like you was going into, I want to land me back on off of that. Right, Yahweh Shai is going to teach you the truth, right, in a perfected way, right? The law, well, we keep the law, but the law is also carnal with carnal ordinances. That's a carnal thing to just leave your wife, man, when you get angry. Because if that's the case, how many brothers in Israel and sisters in Israel were truly enduring to the end with their marriages, 20, 30 years, 15 years, 5 years? Because when you know what hits the fan and it gets hard, you're going to easily want to depart. It's easy to move on, man. It's easy to fall out the truth. It's easy to go to the lust of your flesh. It's easy to commit to sin, but it's going to be more respectable, commendable, and strong for you to bear those burdens in the furnace of adversity and come out of that. And that's the same with marriage, man. You got to be able to come out of that. And everybody can't endure that because of the lust of their flesh and the things that they got deep rooted within them, which is hatred, right? And they want the easy way out, right? I want to get this quick precept.
Real quick, King, can I read this?
Oh yeah, come on.
Real quick, Salakia. Real quick. It says the Jewish rabbi Shammai in his school said it meant adultery. Only adultery was a legitimate reason for divorce. The Jewish rabbi Hillel in his school said that uncleanness could refer to any reason why a wife lost favor with her husband. It could be her cantankerous temper, the fact that she talked to a stranger in the street, or that she burned his bread. The Pharisees may have wanted to put Yahweh Shai right in the middle of this debate. That's what they asked him that question. When they asked the question, whichsoever side he took on the issue of the legality of divorce or the grounds for divorce, he would make new enemies. So they wanted him to pick a side. You're gonna be with this school or this school, right? But he gave you the proper understanding. But Salaki, you got it.
Right. And that's madness because his bread got burnt, man. Right, this is the book. I'm going to get 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Matter of fact, I'm going to get 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 1. Right? And your woman's bound to mess up, man. It happens. Right? She may burn the bread. She may not fold the clothes. Right? She may, fall asleep, take a nap, wake up, the clothes not folded. But that's a very carnal and silly reason to depart from your wife. Right? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 1. It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you. All right, so it's been because during the time of Paul, they were sending letters back and forth, right? That's why you read in 1 Corinthians, right, chapter 7, verse 1, it says, now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, because they were going back and forth with the letters. So it was reported to Paul, right, via letters, the things that was going on in the church, right? It says fornication, as it is not so much named among the Gentiles. Meaning even the Gentiles isn't even getting down like this, man. And Gentiles, they do anything. They have beer fests, beer clubs, bars, happy hours, raves, and all type of strange things at a nighttime where they get off, man. It says that one should have his father's wife, right? And that's off. So this was going on in the church. It says, and ye are puffed up. So this man, he didn't care. He was committing fornication. He was being proud. He wasn't listening, and have not rather mourned. Because when somebody go off, right, it's good for them to mourn and bask in the things that they have done, that they may be sorrowful by the Most High, man, and get, Most High willing, get mercy from the Lord. But if you're proud and you're puffed up, right, it's only one thing for you to do, is what Paul did. That he have not, Salakia, that he that have done this deed might be taken away from among you. For I verily, as being absent in the body, but present in spirit, have judged already. Because he understood the matter via the letters that was going back and forth of all the things reported in that church. So as he heard this, he said, man, look, I already could judge in the spirit the things that are going on. Right? I'm absent in the body, meaning I'm not there. It says, as though I were present concerning him that have done this deed. In the name of our Lord Yahushua, when ye are gathered together in my spirit with the power of our Lord Yahushua, to deliver such an one unto Satan. So you got to cut off that flesh that's a part of the body. The body is the church. That flesh is that man that's corruptible and doing wickedness. So you have to cut that man off, because why? Diseases spread, venom is spread, all type of things and illnesses and viruses, they spread throughout the rest of the body. And the next thing you know, when you get bitten by a snake or you have frostbite and different things like that, those things, they have a eternal effect. You got to cut those things off. It says, for the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit might be saved in the day of the Lord Yahushua. So even in the New Testament, it's telling you to take away from among you this adulterous man and this wicked thing that he's doing with his father's wife. So that man had to get kicked out of the church, and that woman had to be put away, right, for the saving of the day of the Lord Yahushua. Meaning the church wouldn't have been able to have been saved, because why? If Paul didn't cut off these loose ends and these wickedness in his church, it would have continued to grow. That's why the Lord said, paraphrasing greatly, that Enoch had to be taken away out of the earth, lest wickedness shall beguile his understanding and deceit his soul, paraphrasing. So you got to take these things away, lest you be also trapped in sin. You got
it. And I want to get something else real quick to add to that in 1 Corinthians 7, right? It's a little bit, as we wind down, I want to get very quickly, because there's also confusion concerning this matter, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and 10. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband. Right, so this was a reference to the law. When it says, yet not I, but the Lord, he's going to reference the law, right? Why? Because the Lord said, what the Most High joined together, let not man put asunder, right? So you might have a woman that says, hey, look, I'm out, right? Same reason a man might say you burnt the bread, right? A woman might say, you ain't take out the trash, I'm leaving. You don't make enough money, I'm leaving. You're not tall enough, I thought you, whatever, right? I'm out. Yeah, I thought your beard was going to connect. And then she just damn rolled out the house, man. It says, let not the wife depart from her husband. But, and if she departs, so if she decides to go off, and there may be a reason for her to, if she's getting, there's domestic abuse or, violence in the household, right? She may have to depart, right? Or she should depart. But, and if she depart, and it doesn't mean, depart doesn't mean you're not married. All right, just means you're in another location physically on the earth. But, and if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put away his wife. You see that? So if she departs, right? Meaning, let's say y'all, whatever the case may be, and maybe she at her mother house, she's staying with her sister, something happened, right? She has to remain unmarried. She can't depart from you physically and then lay down with another man, right? It says, or be reconciled to her husband. Those are only two options. And let not the husband put away his wife. But to the rest speak I, not the Lord, meaning he's not referencing something in the Torah when he says, to the rest speak I, not the Lord. Although he's not referencing something from the Torah, it does not disannul the Holy Spirit that was on the Apostle Paul to give divine counsel and instruction for the betterment of the church. If any man, right, we covered that on the last lesson, right? Everything don't have to be thus said the Lord, right? I mean, we went into plenty of accounts. If any brother hath a wife that believeth not, when I say everything that don't have to be thus said the Lord, let me clear that up because Jake can take that and run away with it. Everything doesn't have to literally say in the text, thus said the Lord, for it to be an instruction and a commandment to be taken, right? We went into high holy days last week. We went into things that our forefathers did, right? They have to be taken with the same gravity as the law, right? Same thing with the Proverbs, same thing in Ecclesiastes, same thing, right? Nevertheless, if any brother hath a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away, right? So you can't tell another man you got to put away your wife if she don't believe, and then get with a sister in a congregation. That's complete violation. If you want me pleased to dwell with you, right, which means she understands, what you're involved in, or she may not completely understand, but she loves you and y'all may have children together or whatever. You can't just cut her off because she's not in the truth. And a woman which hath a husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. Because you got time where a brother might come into this thing, man. Right? His woman might be on fire, zealous, and he might see her change in life, and she may not talk the same and dress the same and look the same. And, he may, develop, a rekindled flame or love, or he might like the new her and not the old her. He fell in love, might fall in love with a new woman, man. He might start saying, okay, well, what's this thing about? Let me send me one of them videos. And he might start coming to this thing, But what if she presumptuously cut him off and went and laid down with another man? She committed adultery. And this brother, he's gonna act on that. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy. So if you have a woman in the world, or a woman has a husband in the world, you don't divorce them because they don't believe. If a man divorces his wife because she doesn't believe and lays down with another woman, that's adultery. Even if he doesn't lay down with another woman, you think she's going to remain single her whole life? She's going to lay down with a man. She got things that, whatever she's going to want, and she's going to lay down with a man, and you cause her to commit adultery because you put her away. Right? So this thing has to be taken according to the severity that it's instructed, man. This instruction won't be given if you didn't have fornication in the church and adultery in the church. Right? The Most High said they're sanctified by the believing husband or by the believing spouse. Right? But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God hath called us to peace. So if your woman don't believe, watching the videos, she pack up her stuff in the middle of the night and she peel off and she drives to Phoenix, Arizona. You live in New York, she fly to Phoenix. She drive to Phoenix, she's out, right? It says, let them depart. You can't force them to live with you. You can't force them to dwell with you. You can't handcuff them hog time and bring them back to the basement, right? Let them depart. A brother or a sister, because a brother might do the same thing. Brother might be out, man. You in this thing and you reading, you studying, and he go freak off, man. You can't force him to live with you. That's what this under bondage is going into, man. It's talking about dwelling together, because if you have an unbelieving woman that departs, she's still by law married to you, even though she doesn't live with you. Just because she physically departed doesn't mean that she's not married to you anymore. If she departs, let her depart. If she lays down with another man, she has committed adultery. but you can't force her to live with you, right? A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases, in the case of them departing. But the Most High hath called us to peace. Yeah, because you're going to have hell in the house, man. If you got an unbeliever and you try to force them to live with you, man, you lock in the door, you ain't going to have no peace. You're going to have strife and confusion. The Most High called us to peace, meaning let them leave. It is what it is, right? You don't know if you're going to save them anyway. That's what the next verse goes into. For what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband? Yeah, you hog-tied your husband and tied him up in the bedroom, have him watch the videos. You don't know if he's going to make it or not, man. All you're going to have is more strife and confusion and madness in the house. Or how knowest thou, O man, whether thou shalt save thy wife? Yeah, you damn tie your woman up to the chair and making her watch the Proverbs 31 breakdown. You don't know if she's going to make it, man. Right? You don't know if you're going to save her. She's watching that and she don't even believe it, man. All you're going to have is hell and strife in the house, man. You'd rather have a dinner with herbs than a fatted calf. The scripture say a fatted calf with strife, paraphrasing. So if they depart and roll out, they're not under bondage. They're not sanctified by that spirit of the believing spouse, right? The brothers got it.
I was going to say, you don't want to force the course of the river.
Right.
You know, if you force the course of the river, you'll drown, and everybody else will drown with you. It says in Sirach chapter 39, verse 6, verse 5, and it reads, he will give his heart to resort early to the Lord that made him, and will pray before the Most High, and will open his mouth in prayer and make supplication for his sins. When the great Lord will, he shall be filled with the spirit of understanding. He shall pour out wise sentences and give thanks unto the Lord in his prayer. He shall direct his counsel and knowledge, and his secrets shall he meditate. And so again, this is really lining back off what the brother was saying on how the things written in the so-called New Testament, it's counsel. Ultimately, this is coming from the Lord. The wisdom, knowledge, understanding, right? This is all coming from the Lord. And this is Paul giving counsel to the church. And you don't want to refuse counsel. You don't want to, it says, Sirach 40 and 25, gold and silver make the foot stand sure, but counsel is esteemed above them both. So counsel is far better than money and riches, because counsel is going to direct your life. A lot of Israel, they neglect the counsel that's ultimately of the Lord, you know. So that's why another reason you can't just read the letters and just say, well, that was then, and that's just man. That was their circumstances, not mine. But this is counsel. The scriptures are counsel. You know, you can't just see it as Jacob just see the scriptures carnally, which is off. Scriptures are spiritual. It says in Proverbs 30 and 5, every word of God is pure. But with that, I yield.
I just want to bring out some closing.
I get in there first through the Spirit. All right. It's the mighty book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 2. It says, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. Right? So things are dying off that brothers and sisters don't notice. That's why we have to examine the things that are going on in our lives so that we may strengthen them up before they die off. Right? And you got to examine yourself, because if you don't, that thing is going to die off and you're not going to notice that it's gone. Right? Until you pine away slowly and slowly to the point you don't desire to do anything of the Lord anymore. It says, that are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before God. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. All right, so if you're not watching, the Lord's going to visit you and blow out your candlestick. So continue to keep watch and stay diligent in this truth.
It says in Sirach chapter 35, verse 5, thou shalt not, instead of verse 4, thou shalt not appear empty before the Lord, for all these things are to be done because of the commandment. The offer of the righteous maketh the altar fat, and the sweet savor thereof is before the Most High. And Of course, you want to make sure everything that you present before the Lord is done in sincerity and with a pure heart. You don't want to be in this truth just for money, or you just want multiple wives, or whatever other thing that you may think this truth is that is not. You got to be in it for the right intentions, to sincerely serve the Lord and to also sincerely love your people. So you want to make sure that you appear before the Lord with all your full works.
Con. And it's the classic Revelation chapter 22 and verse 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. So, brothers, sisters, make sure that your work is being maintained before Yahweh Bashmel Shai. Make sure you look at the works that you're doing, and understand that there are works that we can do more for Yahweh Bashmel Shai. You may have wicked works, man. The Most High is going to look at those wicked works as well. Things you may think about, say, things that you do. And those things are going to receive a judgment as well. So you want to magnify your talents and works in these last days, because the Most High is going to bring this judgment down right before you know it, man. You got a lot of prophecies unfolding. You got eclipse coming up, blood moons. You have prophecy. You had an Iranian general or commander that was just assassinated by the IDF, right? So you got all hell breaking loose on the earth, man. Right, so now it's your time to make sure that, like the brother was saying, that you're watching, man. Make sure you're trimming your lamps. Make sure you're not lukewarm, man. Now it's not the time to be folding your hands and going to sleep, man. Now it's your time to have your lights burning and your candle on fire, man. You got the Passover coming up. You got new moons, right? We're doing the work of the Most High. So put your hand to the plow. Don't look back, man. And pray that Yahweh Bashmel Shai gives you mercy in these last days. But with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh. Brother Naquan.
Shalom, brother White.
Brother Yardan, Shalom.
Kwam Yashala. Shalom.